Joe Biden is now asking for $33 million more in funding so we can help the Ukrainians.
I know these numbers do get confusing and millions and billions don't seem to matter, but I believe you mean $33 billion.
Sorry.
Funding.
$33 billion. Mm-hmm. We've already given almost $4 billion worth of equipment and training and everything else. So now it's 10 times the amount. Joe Biden has just been warned by Vladimir Putin that if you continue to meddle in our affairs, that we will expand the war. I honestly, this makes me extraordinarily nervous because I think this plays in to everybody's want when you're talking about the global community of elites. Russia wants to bankrupt us. Russia wants to destroy us. Russia wants to have a bipolar world again, and they rise to the top. On the very small part, Biden just wants to make sure that America is seen as being able to beat Russia because of what happened in Afghanistan. But I don't think that's the real reason. We are resetting the entire world, and this is the emergency that will allow the Great Reset to happen. And I am just seeing way too many things, people that are just cheering on this war. From the New York Times, fears mount, Ukraine war will become a broader conflict. This one from the Wall Street Journal. The U.S. should show it can win a nuclear war. Can we, didn't we learn that lesson? There's no winner. Do we all need to watch war games again? Matthew Broadway, we can bring that out. I can show it. I mean, it's probably one of those free movies that you can get at Amazon with your subscription. Why are we talking about that?
Well, because Russia's talking about it.
No, I know that.
And then we seem to be, because it's not just Russia escalating at this point.
No, we are too.
We are too. Ukraine is as well. I mean, we're now seeing, bombs, explosions going off inside Russian borders by drones purchased from NATO countries. I don't know that Russia is going to look all that fondly upon those developments. I know, call me crazy, call me wacky, but I don't think they're going to look. They're not going to look so fondly on that. And you have that going on. You have the fact that we continue to idiotically announce all of the money, all the weapons, every little bit of assistance. We brag about it constantly in the media. Our own president is saying that we're doing it.
Can you bring up his remarks? This is live right now. Oh, here's the president on Putin's, quote, Putin's war.
They surely did. We said we'd not send U.S. troops to fight Russian troops in Ukraine, but we would provide robust military assistance and try to unify the Western world against Russia's aggression. I said I would impose powerful sanctions on Russia and that we destroy this myth that somehow they can continue to move without the rest of the world acting. That we deploy additional forces to defend NATO territories, particularly in the east along the Russian and Belarus borders. That's exactly what we said we would do, and we did. But despite the disturbing rhetoric coming out of the Kremlin, the facts are plain for everybody to see. We're not attacking Russia. We're helping Ukraine defend itself against Russian aggression. And just as Putin chose to launch this brutal invasion, he could make the choice to end this brutal invasion.
Okay, stop.
Russia is the...
This is not going to de-escalate. It's just not going to de-escalate. May 9th is it's like our July 4th. It's a very important day in Russia. It's, I think, Heroes Day or Victory Day, and it was commemorating the victory over the Nazis. Well, don't think that this isn't being compared because they're saying they're going in to defeat the Nazis. That's going to be a frightening day, in my opinion, to see what's going on. Now, Russian state TV today is, again, talking about nuclear war. You have... Who was it? Navarov? Who was it that was talking about that nuclear war is becoming more and more likely? just the other day.
Sergei Lavrov.
Yeah. So you have the officials saying it's more and more likely that nuclear weapons are going to come into play. Here is what Russian state TV said to comfort their viewers. They have been discussing the idea of war spreading beyond the Ukraine, and they're promoting now the idea of this war is inevitable. And they have been talking about World War III. And listen to this quote. Personally, this is one of their, talking heads on state-run TV. Personally, I think the most realistic way is the way of World War III, based on knowing us and our leader, Vladimir Putin. Knowing how everything works around here, it's impossible. There is no chance that we give up.
And again, this is state-run propaganda, but would anyone here disagree with that? Would you disagree with that?
I wouldn't disagree
They're
with that.
not going to just leave. There's no chance of him just being, you know what? I guess this was a mistake. That's not part of the picture here. I mean, it's possible, he gets taken out in some way, who knows? But other than that, this isn't just going to stop.
Who is replacing him? If he's taken out...
Medvedev? That's not going to change anything.
Yeah, if he's taken out, it's very easy to say that was an American conspiracy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we've said regime change and then said, no, we don't mean that.
Thanks, Joe.
He goes on to say, now this is Russian state TV. We all know everything will end with a nuclear strike. It is more probable than any other outcome.
Jeez.
This is to my horror on one hand, but on the other hand, with the understanding that it is what it is. But we'll go to heaven while they simply croak. Look, we're all going to die someday.
Uh-oh.
If I was seeing that on, CNN, which is our version of almost pretty much wrapped up state-run television, just the checks haven't been signed, wouldn't you be like, oh, crap, they are preparing us for nuclear war?
I mean, and Glenn, we talk about a lot of things that I find to be very important. There is no single threat that approaches the threat to our civilization like this one does. Now, I still think it's a low percentage possibility it spirals out of control and does that sort of damage that we end in a nuclear war. But it is not impossible. There are a lot of things we talk about that even at their worst are nowhere near the outcome that we're talking about here. We're talking about we are one button push away with a guy who has no checks and balances and might very well be insane from a nuclear war.
Putin or...